Welcome everyone to our Family Trust. What's it like? What the daily life looks like, what the challenges are, best practices, tips and tricks, etc.
I have a hard time adjusting to change on the fly. Coming to Billtrust, I have learned over the last 90 days or so that my employer works with me. So it's not just me making the change, it's me being open and talking to my supervisor about what's going on in my house. The kids are sick. I got to go to the school. It's just trying to understand that everything is not always going to be perfect. Sometimes you have to adjust. And once you know that you have to adjust, make that adjustment and be open about it. I'll call my boss in a minute and say, hey, I got to go to school. I'll be back. I'll take the next Zoom call from my phone and I'll log in from the car. It's great having that flexibility and having someone understand where you are so that you can create that balance that you need. So you don't have that guilt of, oh my goodness, I had to miss muffins with mom because it was year-end close, or, oh my goodness, I had to miss the football game because I had to do closing items and I wasn't able to be there. So I am learning still the work-life balance.
I think my two big things that really help my balance is a calendar. So I've got my Billtrust work calendar on my, he heard me. Yep, we're going to see him. My work calendar, knowing what I have day to day. And then I also have a family calendar, and I'm old school and it's written on the wall. And so my husband can go to that and say, oh, we're doing this weekend, or this is going on, so that we don't get double booked. And then, silly as it is, this silly headset really helps me. My toddler knows that if I have this on, that I am talking to grownups on the screen, and he will politely tug on my arm and say, Mama, take your ears off. But when I do take those off, I do try and take a few minutes to spend with him, and whether it be getting a snack or playing with little ones.
I've done two things. One is to create a space so that my kids know that that's my workspace, and I try not to do other things in that workspace so that they can kind of have a visual signal that these are two different things. The other thing, which is really, really hard, is basically saying no to any interruption. We actually got so good at this that there was an issue where a child had broken a leg and they did not interrupt my husband because they had gotten so programmed. So maybe that's not a great example, but we just learned to say no to a point where they would stop coming in. They knew that the only way they would have a chance is to leave us a sticky note or text us. And then that way we could look at it when it wasn't disruptive to us. But it takes so much. My husband's now the one that's working at home. And the number of times that I've come home to Chick-fil-A because my husband didn't say no. And he's like, they interrupt me all the time. And I'm like, that's because you keep giving in. If somebody comes to you 6 times and you finally give up, right, they're going to do it. So the sign on the door, separate place that's your working place. And then just encouraging when the kiddos get old enough that they can text you or they can write. I know it's harder with little people. Maybe trying to assign and maybe letting them create the sign for you at 10 and 12 and explaining to them, why it is that you're engaged and when you can take pauses.
So yes, life gets rough. Yes, things happen. Yes, we're a blended family. Yes, it's Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, it's different personalities, but we love each other. We make it work. Give yourself time to be okay with change. Understand that there's nothing as a parent that you're going to do that someone else isn't going through. So everything that happens, someone else has lived it. Someone else has felt it. You are not alone. There are several of us on the call that can always help with anything that you're feeling. Postpartum depression, women having women issues and having to have surgeries, different things that happen in life. As women, we can talk, we can band together and come together and just give yourself time to be okay. Know that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to need medication to help you get through the day. It's okay to need to talk to someone to help get through the day. That there's nothing that happens on a daily basis that's enough to take you out. Fight through and push through and understand that life keeps moving. You just have to evolve, adapt, and communicate through it.